My mom, Jackie Waldman, was living the perfect life with 3 healthy children, a loving husband, and a thriving business when, in 1991, she discovered that she had multiple sclerosis. We were the family that had never had anything happen. We were literally living the perfect life. Instead of dwelling on her physical pain, she used that energy to begin a new career in volunteerism and became very spiritual. My mom, Jackie, co-founded Dallas Random Acts of Kindness Week. She is the author of the Courage to Give series, which includes 5 books, and she has even been on Oprah twice. Mom was also chosen by CNN as one of their Millennium Heroes. Welcome, Mom.
Thank you, honey.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad, and the best proof that I could be given, and I thank God, is looking at you, doing this show, and how we all weathered the bomb.
It's a big bomb.
Yeah.
It was
and
a biggie.
I can look at you and your brothers and know that healing did happen with the courage to give.
Absolutely. And I want to get to that point. I want you to share with listeners your story, because obviously we lived it and through different perspectives, but I want you to start from the get-go. Go ahead. You start.
Okay. In 1991, I was diagnosed with MS, and it was a shock. I knew I had back issues, but to be not able to walk and find out I thought it was what Jerry's kids had when they were doing the spinal tap, but then to find out that there was no cure. That's very scary. Would I walk down the aisle at your wedding? Would I be able to play with your children? Would I be here? And all sorts of questions ran through my mind. Would my husband, my dear love, since I was 13 years old, Steve, want to stay with me when now I wouldn't be able to do what I used to do? And I would lay in bed, and I was so ill, thinking all these negative thoughts. And Dad, thank goodness, was there to help get you kids off. How old were you?
I was a junior in high school.
Oh my goodness, wasn't that?
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Well, I think you were, how old were you? 40 what?
39.
39. Okay, so I'm 40.
And I'm 63.
Right. And so if I'm 40 now with, obviously, we late in the game with the kid thing, but I mean, that has to be terrifying. I think now, like, how you have to be able to get on the...
so funny.
Yeah.
You're going to me and I'm going to you.
Right. No, but I'm thinking... I can't even imagine how you felt as a parent looking at your kids saying, oh my God, what if I can't do these things? It's awful.
Exactly. And having to go get a prom dress with another friend and her mom, how that made you feel.
Yeah, I think as a kid, though, kids are resilient and we bounce back. And I don't even remember that. To tell you the truth.
Thank you, God.
Right. I mean, I don't. There are certain things that I remember, like the wheelchair moment, or when you were going through chemo at home because there was not a cure, or when you flew to Israel to try experimental treatment overnight when it wasn't approved in the U.S. But everything else is kind of a blur. Right when everything happened, I do remember Dad saying, okay, we're going to go on a big trip. This might be it. We're going to go to California for a week. We're going to Hawaii for a week. And we had a great time. I mean, there was an itinerary for what we were doing every day. And guess what? You're fine. You're here. So how did you get
from A to B?
A to B, right? Or so really, I mean, we're probably.
I had one dear friend, and she's still my bestie. And Dee and I would sit on her front porch and rock in her rocking chair. She'd come get me, and as we're rocking, she would say to me, "You'll be fine." And I got really angry. How can you tell me after all I've told you I will be fine? I am not fine. Easy for you to say nothing's wrong with you.
And tell us some of the symptoms when you say you're not fine. What was going on?
Oh, my legs wouldn't work. They were numb. I have extreme fatigue. The neurologist told me that 1 hour to you is 4 hours in my body. So if we go somewhere for 2 hours, I've been there 8 hours. And I said, it's fine for you to say nothing's happened to you. She said she grew up with an alcoholic mother. And she would come home with bottles laying on the couch, her mom fast asleep. And I looked at her and I went, oh my God, look at you. She said, it's not just me, it's available for anybody. You have to not use your ego and use your heart. EGO, edge God out. That will not work. So we then decided to do Kindness Week in Dallas together, a National Random Acts of Kindness Week. It blew all over everywhere. It was a big success, and the more I did for others, the better I felt. So as this continued and as I started helping others at our friend's place, it's a nonprofit here in Dallas to help girls who don't have a place to go. It's a safe place. I thought, well, this can't just be me. Other people probably also found healing through helping others and through gratitude. I'm not saying I have found a cure. I'm saying healing.
And you're really, if you were to look at an MRI,
it hasn't changed.
Right. So it's not like you've healed.
It still has scars.
Right.
And exactly. It's about the healing of the anger, sadness, and fear. Not knowing what's going to be tomorrow, so be present. Live today. It's great. It's gorgeous outside.
So when you started to write your books, your first one, you found a very common thread between the people in your first book.
That's why I wanted to interview people to see if I know this can't just be happening to me. Well, then I really got inspired because the people in these books and their stories are absolutely incredible. Whether something happened to them emotionally or physically, when they started doing something they loved to do but hadn't thought about doing because they were focused on their problem, they reached out to someone in need, and then all of a sudden their lives started to get better. And so
it's
on
almost
Oprah,
like you're looking at it from a different perspective.
Totally.
Okay, hold on. So the day the book's released,
Oh,
the phone rings,
yes,
right? Okay,
yes.
what happened?
Okay, so I get this phone call, and this girl goes, hi, Jackie Waldman. I said, yes. And so she said, this is one of Oprah's producers. And I said, oh, right. Okay, who is this? And so she said, no, it really is.
And I think you said, hold on a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
The pizza just arrived.
I've got to pay the guy. Hold on. Put the phone down. Go get your y'all's pizza. You remember?
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
you're and this
Dogs
producer
barking.
from Oprah that people would have been on the you stopped the world to take this call.
Yeah,
You're saying to her,
exactly.
just you need to wait.
Yeah. And got the pizza and came back on the phone. I said, now, really, who is this? And so she said, it really is. And then I started to really think it was. And it was. And fast forward, there's a lot of vetting, and you talk to a few other people. But I ended up going to Oprah and was able to take 3 women that lived in Chicago that they had picked. And we filmed, and I took them to show everyone how to do it. And
Because truthfully, it's not that you have to wait for something bad to happen to help someone else.
Absolutely not. And I took these girls, and you can go to volley.org, which is here in Dallas, and there's volunteer in any city, and you can find something very close to your own home, someone who needs help, and you put in what you love to do, and then you can be there to share yourself and your particular gift with someone else who needs it. I'll never forget at one of my MS meetings, I found a dad, and he stood up, and he had MS. And I said, what do you do besides MS? Of course, the whole room started laughing. And then he said, well, I used to love to play soccer. I said, well, have you ever thought about going to Big Brothers and playing soccer with a kid there and just or kick around the ball? Or I know your legs may not be as strong, but just go hang out with them and, play soccer. Well, I got a letter, and he did that. And I want you to I just am here to say it works for anyone. He was a new man.
Right, because he took a couple of minutes to focus on someone else and help them. And it was really his passion, though. He loves soccer. So it's
That's the secret.
Right. It's not like he's saying, okay, I got to go. I need to go right now and help someone. It's going to be such a pain in the butt. What do I love to do? I love to do art. So maybe if I go to visit with an assisted living facility, I can help them, but in return, I'm really helping myself. Now, if you look on Oprah's website, Jackie Waldman is still on there. And she has some great questions you can ask yourself to determine what your best gift is and how do you find the right way to give back and really ultimately help yourself. And you can visit that on Oprah.com.
And I want to say to all the Carpool moms, first of all, thank you. You're a gift. The job you do.
Oh, tell them real quick.
Is endless.
What did you do in Carpool line when you were?
I took a nap because I had a big van. I went to the back seat and I laid down and took a nap, and then they would knock on the window when you were coming out.
Right.
You remember?
Oh, yeah.
And the line was held up. I'd wake up.
She was the person holding up the line.
Yeah.
Right.
And they'd wake me up, and I'd go drive up and get all of you, and I'd have my music ready, and I'd be, hey, because I had napped and I had refueled. But it's just also really, really important to have gratitude. And I know whatever you're experiencing out there, model for your children how this works, because kids have problems. Pain is pain, and we are all living on this planet, and sometimes it gets tough. And every day I look in the mirror, and before I brush my teeth, I say thank you, thank you, thank you for my life, for my body, because I wouldn't be where I am now. For Melissa, Todd, Michael, Steve, for my family, my dog Bambi, my family, my friends, and for this day, for this opportunity to be of service. And that starts my day out. And I promise you, when you don't have negativity, it's the law of attraction. It won't come to you. And you will be amazed at how everything starts to change.
Well, I know that there are listeners out there today stuck in that line that are going to take this information and hopefully use it in their daily lives. And I want to just let our audience know that my mom, Jackie Waldman, will be back as a reoccurring guest with different ideas and different ways to incorporate gratitude and living in the moment and celebrating the best you, all different topics that have really helped me in my life and obviously a ton of others. And ultimately, we want this information to get to you so you can help your family, your children, and yourself. So I want to thank my mom, Jackie Waldman. We're giving kisses. And I love you. And you can find Jackie, couragetogive.com. And we will be back with Carpool Convo after these words.